Alright, let's look at the California drought, final year, according to the LA Times. California has about 1 year left of water. One of the scientists here, I believe a NASA scientist, says, should we ration the water? Okay, first of all, how much is about 1 year? That's a big question, okay, because we've been hearing about the California drought now for a while. Is this really the final year, or is this the typical Jonathan Gruber thing where we're going to try to create a panic and there's not actually something to be panicking about? Who knows? I mean, the problem with elites is you can't trust anything that comes out of their mouth. So there's been a lot of endless debating in California, because this is how California works, about tax and rationing. For instance, rationing water, there's pros and cons. Taxes, there's pros and cons. Political parties, whether it's Republicans or Democrats or, I guess, independents, there's been debates about those, or socialists or libertarians as well. Environmental issues, pros and cons, you name it. And also as well, you have to understand with rationing specifically, conservation at the point, if this is true, NASA, the NASA scientist is right, and we only have a year left, or about 1 year left, then conservation is a minimum, and like frugality, it probably is not going to handle this major obstacle. It can raise risks of overconfidence. Usually when states or cities start saying we're going to ration water, that's not a solution, because it's impossible to actually enforce. You can limit some of it, but it's impossible to enforce. You need to be figuring out ways to get more water, more fresh water in general. Increase production. So the solution for California is, number one, guys have got to embrace entrepreneurial freedom. What I mean by that is get rid of your bureaucracy. For the record, California has had a lot of desalination proposals, and whether it's politics or environmental stuff or whatnot, you guys are fighting tooth and nail. In fact, one of the desalination plants that y'all are building in California only produces 50% fresh water. It's not even efficient. It's terrible. Which is why I put this third point here. You need to contact STW Resources in Texas, and you need to reach out to Saltec in Netherlands, right? You guys in California don't have it all figured out. So maybe it's time to start reaching out to people who do. Okay, because at least these people are making moves. Y'all aren't, for sure. You're just wasting time. But you need to embrace entrepreneurial freedom. Look, entrepreneurs need to be able to do things at the drop of the hat, right? They don't need regulations out the wazoo. California's a terrible state for entrepreneurs. It's just awful. The fact that y'all have any there is pretty amazing. It's only because of your weather, but I guess maybe without water, that'll push all the entrepreneurs to other states. The other one is you need to incentivize work and challenging work, okay? Yeah, you guys have Facebook, but who cares? Facebook doesn't produce anything of value. You're not incentivizing challenging work, and now you're actually facing a problem that you need the best and the brightest minds on. Problem is you can't get the best and the brightest minds on, right? Because they would rather create a social media startup, okay? Incentivizing work. Oh, the amount of Californians I spoke to when I was at the bank on disability is just amazing. I mean, you got so many people taking advantage of the system. Even Fox News, what was it? They interviewed that one guy who was on disability, and what was it? He was driving around in a truck and using resources and you name it. The irony was, like, I would have loved to say Fox News was completely wrong about that, but how many people I spoke to at Wells Fargo who were on disability but did not actually have a disability? They were just making it up or collecting unemployment. When you don't incentivize work, you know what happens? People don't work and they use resources. They have more time to use resources. That's a problem. That's not a good thing. You want to disincentivize that. And by the way, why California ever had a high unemployment rate? If you guys have these water problems, you should immediately invest in water infrastructure, right? And create all kinds of jobs. So what have y'all been doing? You know, I mean, supposedly it's like the number one state in the United States as far as, not wealth. Well, wealth too, sure, but as far as gross domestic product. But you have to wonder where all your money's going. I mean, what, to Facebook? Really? It's part of the problem there. So these are really the three solutions, and you have to, deal with a sense of urgency. I would immediately be contacting this company and this company, these two companies here, STW Resources in Texas and Saltec in Netherlands. In fact, they have an office, Saltec does, in McKinney, Texas. So contact them, reach out to them, okay? Because if the NASA scientist is telling us the truth, if there's really 1 year left of water, then you really can't wait. It's time to get it done now. And this should create a lot of jobs. No reason